Okay, so I feel like shit and my stomach has been annoying me. My hair looks like a mess and I thought I'm gonna film. What am I doing? Hi everybody! So today I'm going to talk about werewolves. I've already filmed this once and I thought the audio and I just thought it was really boring. So I was like, I'm gonna film it again. So today I'm going to do makeup, talk about werewolves. I'm very sorry about my hair. I'm very sorry about, that. I've just started the curly girl method on my hair and it is still in that between phase from all of the heat styling and all that stuff over to the curls like we want them to look. So my hair is rebelling and not liking me at the moment, so I just put it up. So like the abominable snowman, I'm not going to turn my whole face into a werewolf. I'm just going to do something inspired by the werewolf. Yeah, because like I'm not great at special effects. I'm really trying to learn special effects behind the scenes. So I hope you'll enjoy the makeup look anyway, and you'll listen to me ramble on about werewolves. So I think we're just gonna get started, or else this intro will be too long. Okay, so I'm going to start off with eyes, and I'm just going to, before I start talking, I'm just going to prime my eyes and I'm going to do my brows off camera, and then I'll be right back to start talking about werewolves. Yeah. Okay, I look crazy, I know, but it'll come together, okay? Good. So, werewolves. It is unclear where or when the legend of the werewolves actually originated from, but there are some people that think they know. Let me tell you about some of them. So some people think that the werewolves originated from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is the oldest known Western prose, when Gilgamesh rejects a potential lover because she had turned her previous lover into a wolf. And then we have another tale from Greek mythology, which is called the Legend of Lycaon. Legend of Lycaon, where according to legend, Lycaon angered the god Zeus. And you shouldn't do that. Everybody knows that. So he angered the god Zeus when he served him a meal from the remains of a sacrificed boy. And as a punishment, Zeus turned Lycaon and his sons into wolves. But also in Nordic mythology, we have something about werewolves called the Saga of Volsung. I have no idea if I'm saying that right because I'm just saying it in Danish, how I would say it. So, but I'm going to put it on the screen just so you can like correct me. So the Saga of Volsung is a story about a father and a son who discovered a wolf pelts that had the power to turn anyone into a wolf for 10 days. And the father and son duo wore the pelts and transformed into wolves and went on a killing rampage in the forest. So the rampage ended when the father attacked his son leaving the son with a lethal wound. And the only reason the son survived was because a raven, a kind raven, gave a leaf to the father with healing powers. And that's the only reason why he actually survived. Yeah. In countries where wolves aren't that common of an animal, where wolves don't really live, there are different kinds of werewolves where it's not a wolf. People don't turn into wolves. They turn into other animals. For example, like a bear or a tiger or a hyena. The belief in werewolves was actually in parallel with the belief in witches and resulted in a trial of supposed werewolves like the witch trials. And oftentimes people thought that witches and werewolves was like one person. If you were a werewolf, you were also a witch. Or you could curse someone into becoming a werewolf if you were a witch. What do they actually look like? Because I found out that also in human form there were telltale signs that you were a werewolf. So these were, for example, both eyebrows were connected in the middle, so unibrow, curved fingernails, low set ears, and a swinging stride. Their eyebrow area would be very prominent. One method of identifying a wolf in its human form would be to cut the flesh off the accused, just a little part, and underneath that flesh there would be fur within the wound. So yeah. And in its wolf animal form, it wouldn't look like a traditional wolf. So the werewolf would oftentimes be larger than the original wolf. I have a very hard time talking today, so I'm very sorry. It wouldn't have a tail. It would have superhuman strength. And it would run on 4 legs, but it would stand on 2 just like a human. And also, it would have a voice. Yeah. Talking wolf. So I want to wing this out a little, but not like I'm used to. Throughout history, there have been many, and I mean many, so-called werewolves. And to be honest, I feel like there was too many, so I just picked like a handful of werewolves to talk about. So I'm going to, so these are some of the most well-known werewolves throughout time. In 1521, Frenchmen Pierre Bergot and Michel Verdun. I'm gonna put it on the screen because I have no idea how to say any of this, and I'm very sorry if anybody gets offended that I can't pronounce anything. I'm going to put it on the screen. Okay? Okay. So Pierre Bergot and Michel Verdun allegedly swore allegiance to the devil and claimed to have an ointment that turned them into wolves. And after confessing to brutally murdering several children, they were both burned at the stake, just like witches would be. An ointment. Yeah. Then we have Giles Gagne, who is known as the Werewolf of Dole. He was another werewolf from the 16th century in France, whose claim to fame was also an ointment that turned him into a wolf. And according to legend, as a wolf, he viciously killed and ate his victims, and he was also burned at the stake for his monstrous crimes. So before I talk about the next werewolf, I'm just going to cut my crease, and I'm going to do that off camera because I don't breathe when I do this. So I am going to be right back. I look crazy, I know. I'm going to start with my face. I'm going to do my lower lash line and lashes on the last step. Yeah. So, the next werewolf of history is Peter Stubbe, who was a wealthy farmer in Bedburg, Germany in 1590. And he is also called the Bedburg Werewolf. And he is actually known for being the most notorious werewolf of all of the werewolves. So, and according to folklore, he turned into a wolf-like creature at night and devoured many citizens in the Bedburg area. Peter was eventually blamed for many of the killings that had been happening around the area. So one night, a group of hunters had cornered a wolf who was relatively large, and right in front of their eyes, they saw this wolf shapeshift into Peter. He shapeshifted from wolf to human. And after confessing under torture, he maybe experienced the most grisly execution of them all. So he confessed to killing men, women, and children, and then eating their remains. And he also declared that he owned an enchanted belt that would turn him into a wolf, but this belt was never found. And actually, Peter's guilt was very controversial because people feel like maybe he just confessed to make the torture stop. So if he was a werewolf, who knows? Who knows? Then we have the Gendillon werewolves. In 1598, a young girl and her brother, Benoit Bidel, were attacked by a wolf when they were out like picking apples from trees. I believe it was apples. I think. Never mind. Not a part of the story. But they were out and they were attacked by a wolf. And to protect his little sister, Benoit drew a knife and drove the knife into the neck of the wolf. A crowd had heard this commotion and ran over to the children and chased the wolf away. The sister, she died at the scene, and Benoit, he died a few days later. But before he died, he was taken to his father's cabin where he claimed that the wolf had hands like a man with hair on it. Suspicions fell quickly upon a woman called Perenette Gandillon because she had a wound the exact spot that the wolf had been struck by Benoit's knife. I need more concealer. Which resulted in the merciless witch hunter Henri Bouquet, arranged a mob and executed Perenette shortly after that. After Perenette's execution, her whole family began hearing rumors about them. Rumors that they were wolves, werewolves, and practicing black magic. So the witch hunter had Perenette's whole family arrested. My skin doesn't look great today. Okay, so Perronet's family, they were arrested. While they were under observation, Boquette, the witch hunter, saw them all walk on 4 legs and howling, where he then questioned their behavior. The first one to confess was Perronet's sister or daughter or something like that. And she confessed to practicing magic. And after that, her Perronet's brother or something like that, I believe it was brother, and his son, they also confessed a little bit after the sister or daughter. Yeah. So they all confessed to witchcraft, and then Perronet's whole family were all burned at the stake. Like, my skin doesn't look great at all today. I'm very sorry. There's a lot of speculations now about whether these people were mentally ill or under the influence of drugs, or whether they were just cold-blooded killers. Nobody knows. And it is very much up for debate. But in the 16th century Europe was very suspicious at this time. So the only way these horrible crimes could be committed was if there was a werewolf loose. And that was like the only explanation people had at that time, because they were very superstitious and they just couldn't believe a human being could do this. Only a monster could do this, like the werewolf. And also the reason why all of these people were burned was because this was one of the only ways that people thought you could kill a werewolf properly, was through burning them at the stake. I'm just going to finish my eyes off camera and put on some lashes, and then I'll finish off my face and talk some more about werewolves. Okay, I'm done with the eyes now. I did do something a little bit darker on the lid. Yeah. According to legends, a werewolf is either cursed into becoming a werewolf, or they can transform through like a pelts, a belt, a ointment, a cloak, anything like that. And then you can also become a werewolf from a scratch or a bite from a werewolf. In a lot of stories about werewolves, people turn into wolves when there's a full moon, and usually it's pretty painful. And this may not be too off from reality, because according to a study conducted at Australia's Calvary Mater Newcastle Hospital, a full moon brings out the beast in most humans. And the study found that of the 91 violent acute behavior incidents at the hospital between August 2008 to July 2009, 23% happened during a full moon. And this is where patients would attack staff with a wolf-like behavior, such as scratching, biting. And although many of these patients were under the influence of drugs or alcohol, it's unclear why they became intensely violent when the moon was full. Because, like, how I understood this study was that before the moon was full, they were like, okay, and then the moon was full, and then they just went berserk. Yeah. I really need my eyelashes to cooperate right now. But the werewolf phenomenon may actually have a medical explanation to it. For example, we have In 1725, Peter the Wild Boy, who wandered naked on all fours through a German forest, and many thought he was a werewolf, or at least raised by wolves. Peter ate with his hands and couldn't speak, and was eventually adopted by the courts of King George I and King George II, and lived out his days as their pet in England. And research has shown that Peter likely had Pitt-Hopkins syndrome, which is a condition that was discovered in 1978 that causes lack of speech, seizures, distinct facial features, difficulty breathing, and intellectual challenges. Other medical conditions that may have encouraged this werewolf mania throughout the years are lycanthropy, which is a rare psychological condition that causes people to believe they changed into a wolf or another animal. We have hypertrichosis, which is a rare genetic disorder causing excessive hair growth. And then we have rabies, and then we have hallucinations, possibly from hallucinogenic herbs. Throughout the centuries, people have used werewolves and other mystic beasts to explain the unexplainable. In modern times, however, most believe werewolves are nothing more than pop culture horror icons made famous by Hollywood, but still, werewolves have a cult following. Werewolf sightings are reported each year, and werewolf legends will likely continue to haunt the dreams of people throughout the world. I'm going to put on my lipstick, and then I'll say some movies and TV series that the werewolf is in, and then I'll finish this off. I also put on setting spray. So, there's a lot, and I mean a ton of movies and TV series about and starring werewolf creatures, characters, stuff like that. And I'm going to share with you some of them because there's just too many, and I can't this will be the longest video ever if I'm going to tell you all of them. So, we have in 1972 a Marvel Comics book character named Werewolf by Night. We have in 1985 a movie called Teen Wolf starring Michael J. Fox, which is a comedy horror movie. We have the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer from 1997 to 2003. Then we have the British TV show Being Human from 2008 to 2013. We have the TV show Vampire Diaries from 2009 to 2017. Fun fact, I've actually never watched Vampire Diaries. Then we have the TV show Shadowhunters from 2016 to 2019. We have the TV show Supernatural from 2005 to 2020. We have the TV show The Originals from 2013 to 2018. We have the TV show Bitten from 2014 to 2016. We have the movie Goosebumps from 2015. We have the TV show Grimm from 2011 to 2017. We have the movie series called Twilight from 2008 to 2012. And let me just say, Taylor Lautner. In that age, when that came out. And then we have the TV show Teen Wolf, based on the movie Teen Wolf, which is from 2011 to 2017. There's a lot more. I'm not gonna mention them all because there's so many. And of course I mentioned some of my favorite ones because why not? For example, the originals and Bitten and Supernatural and Teen Wolf and Grimm, also a great one. And of course Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Always a great one. So, I really hope you enjoyed learning about the werewolf. I think the werewolf craze in TV series is not finished, and we won't see it die for many, many years, and I'm not mad about it. Like, we have some pretty handsome werewolves out there, let me just say. And I actually really like stuff like that. For example, the originals and Bitten and all that stuff. I live for those TV series. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my face. And I'll see you next time. Bye!